Hey guys, Lorena Magana here with New Filmmakers Los Angeles. Today, I'm talking to director J.J. Huckin about his new film, Rebirth. Let's take a look at a clip from the film.
Let's have it, baby.
J.J., why don't you give our viewers a brief synopsis of your film, Rebirth?
In essence, it's about a woman who must decide whether or not she wants to stay in a relationship with someone who does not want to have a child, and she does. So it's sort of this tug and pull of wanting to be with somebody and being in love with somebody.
How did you come up with the idea behind Rebirth?
I was in the process of my wife and I trying to have a child ourselves, and the idea that we got married at 25, and to be with somebody, and we dated for 6 years before that, so we've been together for 19 years. So to be in a committed relationship where it's kind of like, you against the world. It's a long time thing, and fortunately for us, we both wanted kids. But the idea that you can be with somebody for that long and you kind of have a pact that you're not going to have kids, I thought it would be a fascinating thing if you're with somebody that you really, really love and are committed to, and then one of them changes their mind and switches the rules on you. It's such a life-changing thing, to the desire to want to have children, that what would you do if your partner did not want to have kids and you changed your mind and you did? And so that's just kind of a terrifying concept. Would you leave the person to go be with somebody else, or would you deny yourself that strong desire to have a kid? Would you deny that and stay with the person and never have a child? So it's kind of a, in a way, it's a terrifying concept, to have to decide between the two. I didn't really realize in your 20s, or for me, having a kid wasn't a major priority at the time. And then as I got older, like the desire to want to have a family, and that it's a pretty strong, very strong desire. And then if your partner didn't want that, it could rip you apart. So,
What was your rehearsal process like with your actors?
I know every director thinks this, but I sincerely think that the actors were unbelievable. They're both great. I knew them both. I lived in New York, so I knew them both from New York. They're both friends of mine, and there are so many great actors that no one's ever heard of that are just amazing. I mean, they've both done tons of theater. They're well trained. They're super intense. They're dedicated to their craft. They're like the perfect indie people, because they're willing to do whatever. There's no pretentiousness. There's none of that. And we got this great location. The lead actress's grandmother had a house up in Long Island, and it really kind of fit the vibe of the film. So once I knew that I started writing the script, I immediately sort of thought of both of them. And especially, I wanted to work with the female, Jen McGuire, for a long time. And the guy, the male actor, Scott Price, he's also a very, very close friend of mine. And I just felt like the two of them together would be combustible and energetic, and they're very character real looking kind of people, which is also great. As far as rehearsal goes, I sent them the script obviously ahead of time, and I told them I didn't want them to talk about I didn't want them to talk together about their relationship. I wanted it to be sort of mysterious to them as to what their backstory was and what they did, but I gave them the kind of general idea of what I thought the characters were about. And when we got to the location, we did some small rehearsal stuff, but I didn't want to beat it into the ground. But the last scene, like the big emotional outpouring, that was not rehearsed at all. That was just, they know the stakes. They know that, she's saying, I want more from this relationship. I have to have more. And we only did one take. After we were done, it was a 7-minute take of both of them just exploding out. I mean, the tears were real. All that was very real. We shot that at 3 in the morning. They both were sleep deprived. It was at the end of 4 days of shooting nonstop for 15 hours a day. We had 0 crew. So I shot it, I directed it, I did all the lighting, I did all the, I did the sound. So I'm, monitoring sound and had a steady cam, and only 2. So we spent just those 2 actors and me locked in a house for 4 days. So it was super intense. I mean, it was heavy stuff. But no, we didn't bog it down with a bunch of rehearsals, because I just felt like that's going to lose the spontaneity of what the film. If you actually look at the script, I mean, it's a 14-minute film, but the script is very, very short. I mean, the scenes are extremely short. They're like 3 or 4 lines each. And then there's a little bit of improv mixed in there with each other. So again, I did that because I just wanted people to pop in on the middle of a situation. They didn't know what the conversation was necessarily about, but the cumulative effect of those little small scenes, you got a sense of their type of relationship. The fact that he's sketching her nude, there's an intimacy that they have that your average couple, you know, your average boyfriend and girlfriend or couple don't necessarily, you know, sketch each other nude. There's a very like close-knit bond that they have. But no, to answer the question, sorry, long-winded, there wasn't a lot of rehearsal because I just didn't want to bog down that spontaneity I felt like the script kind of needed. But it was scripted, except for the last scene. That was just sort of a framework. It's like, you have to decide what you're going to do here. And I just let them go with it, and they were absolutely great.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Great, thank you so much for having me. It's been cool. It's an amazing festival. Very cool, amazing, well run. Everybody had a blast. Super top of the line. The event space was great. I mean, it was really top notch, honestly.
Yeah.